Most children have a hobby of watching movies in childhood, but for the protagonist of our story, Calm, who was affectionately called Wheat by his friends, watching movies is not only a hobby, but a different world of addiction. The Wheat sits there, and one by one, they started playing all the tapes. In this way, gradually the Wheat reel disappeared into the world. This is how time passes. The Wheat has grown up now. But the addiction to watching Wheat movies was still the same. One day, when he was watching a movie with his friends, his best friend, Hansi-Jean, said, "Why do you watch so many movies? Do you want to be an actor in the future?" Hearing this, Hansi's girlfriend, Sanjua, who was sitting next to her, said, "You think for yourself. Wheat will do something better in the future." But on the other hand, Hansi-Jean's words come to the mind of Wheat. "I can not only be a spectator, I also have to be a part of the movie world." There is still one. Wheat came to audition to become an actor, but when it was his turn to act, he acted so badly that the director kicked him out straight away. The Wheat is coming out upset, and then it started raining. That's when Wheat's eyes fell on a girl. He was a little wet in the rain because he didn't bring an umbrella. That's when someone called the girl a movie. In this, Wheat realizes that the girl's name is Movie. The story goes back a bit to the past. When I was a 7-year-old kid, the Movie is a very angry girl. And always the boys he used to fight with. When someone asks him, "Where are your parents?" the Movie laughs and answers, "My parents are dead." But the truth is that the Movie's parents are still alive. However, the father of the Movie was always busy with work as he was a famous movie director. Because of this, the Movie could not be timed properly. Once, when Movie was sitting in the car, his father said, "Let's take you to the amusement park today." The Movie is instantly happy to hear this. But then a call came to the father of the Movie, and his dad was in the movie. "Sorry, sweetie. Now there is urgent work. I'll take you one day." The Movie is very upset. "I know you will never have time for me." Then one day a friend from the Movie asks him why you tell everyone that your parents are dead. Then the Movie answers, "Because they are dead movies to me. They grow up in all these movies from childhood, and then his father really dies one day." Then he started doing it. We see the uncle who used to run video rentals, but now he owns a house, and he used to do a part-time job in that house. Then Season's girlfriend brings food for both Season and the uncle. While serving the food, Uncle casually asked, "Where is your friend Wheat?" When the scene is cut here, we then see Wheat on a shooting set, where Wheat was doing a fight scene. Everything was going well, but in the end, the whole scene is ruined due to a mistake in the Wheat. In that case, the director got very angry and said, "From now on, you don't have to come to the shoot anymore." Wheat then goes on to say sorry to the director. But then Yusei sees the Movie here. The Movie was also working on this set. Wheat stares at the Movie in silence. The Movie also notices this, but he leaves without saying anything. The next day, Wheat comes back to the shooting set and tries to convince the director how to shoot a perfect shot. The director gets angry and says, "Director, are you or I am here to teach you?" At that moment, Wheat's eyes fell on the Movie again. Then the Wheat. He decided that this time he had to talk to the Movie. Then another fight scene was being shot at night. Wheat is not given a role this time, due to which he just stood quietly on the set and watched the Movie from a distance. Shortly after, he went to the roof and saw the Movie smoking there. The Movie also targets Wheat, but he quietly left without saying anything. The next day, during the lunch break, he went to the movie table and sat down. "Why do you always eat alone?" "I don't look at the Movie because that's how I like it." Meanwhile, the Movie is a lot of frustration for Wheat. Yes, because movies don't like people talking too much. On the other hand, the director pulled out of the project. But Wheat then went and tried to impress the director in many ways. Eventually, the director forced him to return his role. Then, when he went to help pick up the Movie stuff, the Movie made it clear, "Don't even talk to me, and I don't need your help." Wheat asks, "But why?" The Movie then says, "Because I'm not a childish like you, so stay away from me." Wheat is a little surprised by this. Then to the Wheat Season, he asks what this childish means. Season then Googles and says that those who behave like children are called childish. Wheat was surprised to hear this. Anyway, the next day, Wheat comes to see the Movie with his brother Kujan and opens up about the Movie. Then Kujan asks, "Then the girl doesn't even want to talk to you. What will you do now?" Then Wheat replied, "I have seen a lot of romantic and comedy movies. I will find some way to seduce her. If I was like my father, life would have been completely chaotic. My mother was a little surprised and then suddenly asked why you were talking about your father. The movie of the answer then said that today I talked to someone who reminded me of my father. The next day, then Wheat was practicing his movie scene when the movie was going from that direction. Wheat spread his legs in front of him too. Have fun with the movie? He got bored with the movie and said it was good. Your character in the movie is dead. From now on, I don't have to see your face anymore. What are you doing here after leaving? I am very busy talking to you. I don't want to waste time now. Then during lunch, the movie was looking for an empty place where he could sit alone when the movie found a place and sat there. The movie came and sat there, wearing a strange dress. The movie got bored and said, "What are you doing here now?" "Today, no, your shooting is over." Then Wheat said that. According to the story of the movie, even though I am dead, I have a twin brother whose role I have to play. The director still needs me. Just then, a man came and shouted and said, "You are. You stole my beard and ran away." In fact, Wheat stole this man's costume to stay on the set. The man then got angry and dragged the Wheat out of there. Then at night, when I was leaving the movie studio, Wheat follows him quietly. Then the Wheat is caught near the movie. Wheat then made an excuse and said it was not right to go alone so late at night. "So I'm delivering to you." The movie then stops and takes out a stun gun from the bag and says I can take care of myself. "It would be better for you to stay away from me." Wheat then left without saying anything more. The next day, Then I saw that Wheat went to a wedding invitation. He also came to the movie as a photographer. Wheat then went straight to the movie and said, "I didn't follow you. In fact, I'm basically a friend of the groom. That's why I came to the wedding. But what are you doing here?" "I work part-time as a photographer." The next day, everyone was boarding the bus to go to the new spot for the shoot. Wheat also got on the bus quietly. He didn't have any other work there, though. When Wheat wanted to sit next to the movie, another girl pulled him to sit next to her. "It's good to see this movie. I don't need to. Why do I feel so bad? Wheat is none of me." When we reached the shooting spot, we saw that the movie had fallen asleep inside the bus. Wheat then took this opportunity to take some pictures of the movie. And then he started to have fun with the movie by showing those pictures. In the next scene, it is seen that Wheat misses the bus while buying popcorn. Then he turned around and saw the movie running behind the bus. Wheat realizes that means the movie has missed a bus like him. Then the two of them sat together at the bus stand and ate popcorn. Theses. After a while, another bus arrived, and they boarded the bus. Then the two of them sat in separate seats. But after a while, Wheat went and sat next to the movie. "The movie says the bus is empty. Why are you sitting here?" Wheat then replied that I am afraid to sit alone. The movie doesn't say anything else. After a while, when the movie falls asleep, it starts dreaming in its sleep. And suddenly he grabbed Wheat's hand in fear. The movie immediately drops Wheat's hand and says, "Sorry, I made a mistake." The next day was the last day of movie shooting, so the director becomes very emotional. Then a man came and told me that a reporter wanted to interview you. Meanwhile, Wheat watches the movie again and quietly follows the movie. The reporter then approaches the movie and asks the movie if you have come to this industry to fulfill your father's dream. There's nothing the movie doesn't say right away. When the reporter wanted to interview the movie clearly refused him. On the other hand, we look at the season. The house itself was working. The season itself tells the boss that I have to go a little earlier today because today is the 7th anniversary of my relationship. There is. The boss agreed. Then Season finishes his work and buys gifts for gambling. Meanwhile, Wheat was having dinner with the director and the rest of the crew. However, with so much emotional conversation of everyone, the Wheat went out of the way. Outside, Movie was standing alone, smoking a cigarette. Wheat then said that I thought you might have left. The movie then said that you love to mingle with everyone. So what are you doing here instead of staying with everyone? It has to be, isn't it? The prophet laughed at the words of Wheat. Then Wheat said, "You didn't want to talk to me before, but now you are laughing at my joke?" The movie replied, "I'm a little different. I don't like to talk to people or get close to them." Wheat asks, "But why?" The movie then says that because in the end, everyone just leaves. Why do you always think so negatively? The movie responds, "And why do you always pretend? That's all right. I don't like people who pretend. Such people are the first to leave." Goes. Wheat then says that if I share all the sorrows of my life with you at this moment, will you understand me? Will you not leave me? So if Wheat wants to leave, the movie stops him and kisses him at the same time. Then we see that the girlfriend of the season, Joya, breaks up with him and leaves him in the background. Then we hear the voiceover of the movie that says that the morning light removes the darkness of the night, just like the morning light removes the darkness of the night. Wheat has also suddenly disappeared. It's gone somewhere. At this time, a car was seen drowning in the water. This is where the scene is wooden, and we see scenes from the past. Movie befriends a boy when he was 9 years old. He was very sick. In fact, we see that the movie is in a lot of trouble right now because the Wheat has suddenly disappeared. No phone calls, no messages. In this way, the movie is always dead for a few days, but slowly the anger and pride started to accumulate inside the movie. One day the director was sitting with the director at the movie shooting site. Then the director asked him what happened. "You are always very upset. Who do you miss so much?" The director then says that nothing happens if you are stuck in the past. Pay attention to the future. Fulfill your dreams after listening to the movie. Then decides that you will never think about the Wheat that is gone. Why will you waste your life thinking about it? On the other hand, the car that we saw drowning in the water, it was Wheat's brother. June was seriously injured due to June's accident and was admitted to the hospital. He couldn't even talk to anyone properly, but he was in great trouble for the money, but he still had a lot of small beds. He works and somehow manages everything. Wheat finally gets a job at a movie critic, which goes fairly well. Wheat works. She takes care of her brother and spends time with him and watches movies together. That's how 5 years passed. In these 5 years, the movie directed its first film, and Wheat has since become a well-known movie lover and critic, so he was invited to the movie premiere show. Murder goes on. When the movie is over, the director takes the stage. And then we came to know that the director of this movie was none other than the movie. The audiences, one by one, they began to question everyone. Then you get a chance to ask questions. The movie is shocked to see the Wheat after so many years. Because of this, they cannot answer the question properly. On the other hand, we look at the season. The season now works a house. He also makes his own music. It's been 5 years since she broke up with gambling. Yet the season hasn't forgotten gambling yet. Later, when he went to see the movie directed by the season movie, he came to know that the screenwriter of this movie was Joya. He even left an article for the gambling season. Reading the season article goes straight to the Wheat, and 2 of them, to sit on the bench and talk. Season asks, "Have you seen that movie?" Wheat then said yes. "I saw it on the first day." The season got angry and then slapped the Wheat and said, "How could you do this? You were my friend at the end. I saw the scripted movie of my ex." Wheat calmly said what I used to do. "You know that I have to watch all the movies in the world, so even if I want to, I can't stop myself." You shouldn't have been in touch with the movie for so many years. You made a big mistake. Meanwhile, Movie sat alone in his room and watched the video over and over again, where he was questioned at the Wheat Theater. It's impossible for the movie to forget that moment. The next day, we saw a presentation by the old director of Wheat. When the presentation is over, I see the director coming out. After all these years, Wheat has come to see him. Meanwhile, Wheat came to hug the director after being overwhelmed with joy, but the director got angry and punched Wheat in the stomach. In fact, he has not been able to communicate with the Wheat for so long. I am very angry. Then the 2 sat down to talk. The director said, "Where have you been all these years? How did you like my new movie?" Wheat then took a deep breath and said, "I like it very much." The director laughs, then holds his hand and the 2 walk together. On the other hand, we see the movie sitting with his mother. The mother of the movie then asks how it feels when people call you the director. And when your first film ends, how did you feel? The movie is silent for a while, and I don't know, maybe I didn't feel it right. And the director then arrives at the director's office together. As soon as Wheat entered, all the employees were surprised to see him. He is also very happy. The director then takes Wheat to his cabin. After a while, the employees came back and said they had come after so long. "Let's have dinner together today." Wheat smiled and said, "No, I have to go home early today. We'll have dinner together another day." Then he returns home and watches a movie with Kaznan. Kaznan looked at the Wheat and asked, "What else do you do but take care of me?" Wheat laughed and said, "Movies. I see and meet people." Hearing this, some are silent for a while. Then he said, Remember how much we used to talk about watching movies? You once said you like a girl. That was when I was a kid, he said, a little unprepared. Why are you asking all this now? You don't seem to be the same anymore. Wheat was silent for a while and said nothing. The only difference is that I was a kid then, and now I'm grown. The movie, on the other hand, sat alone. All his attempts to forget the wheat seemed in vain. Everything in the movie before, he began to forget. But now that the wheat is back, the only thing the movie wants to know is, where did the wheat suddenly go? Why did he leave? The next day we see Wheat and the director in a car. Basically, they were going to the Director Thief concert. As the two get there, Movie's eyes fall on the wheat. As soon as the wheat started moving towards the movie, one of the movie's colleagues came there and started talking to the movie, whose wheat can't talk to the movie then. After that, everyone watches the newly released movie of director Core. The movie is over. The movie comes out alone. Wheat then goes after the movie. At first, the movie was quiet. Then he stopped and asked, "When did you start working as a critic?" Wheat then says that I am getting good money from the job. The movie then asks, "Have you reviewed my movie?" Wheat doesn't say then that the movie asks again, "Then why did you come to see?" "I didn't come to see your movie. And you were looking at me, too." The movie calms down a little and asks again, "Are you sick?" Wheat doesn't say the movie asks again if someone died or someone. He went to jail for committing a crime. Wheat shook his head and said nothing happened. Then the movie asked directly, then left, "Why did the wheat remain silent? Do not answer." The movie looked into the eyes of the wheat and said, "Okay, I got it. I was just a time pass for you. So from now on, don't show me this face of yours again." The movie goes there. The wheat stands silently and watches the movie. Leave. Day Movie rides back home on a bicycle. When he got home, his mother told him that a new neighbor had moved into the front apartment. Hearing this, the movie is new. Say hello to your neighbor. But as soon as the king opens, the movie is surprised to see the wheat there. Movie was surprised and said, "You came here to follow me." "No, my brother likes this house," said Wheat calmly. "That's why we're here." At that moment, someone came from behind and said, "You said that the director and the critic are enemies. So from today, if you two are enemies, the scene is cut here. Then the next day we see the movie in the morning, sitting down to read a book. Then the movie sees the movie in the same way. When he goes out to run, he sees that the wheat is distributing sweets to everyone in the whole society. Then the movie then returns home and asks his mother if anyone has come to give sweets to the house. Mom said no one came. The movie is quite surprised to hear this. After that, the movie waited all day in the hope that Wheat would now bring sweets to his house. But even after nightfall, the wheat does not come. The movie gets boring, and he gave sweets to everyone. It wasn't just in my house. The next day, when the movie was going to the office by bus, Gum got on the same bus. But when he saw the movie, he went down the back door. Watch the movie again. It's amazing. And one day, when the movie is jogging, the wheat comes again and again for no reason. The way of the movie is blocked again and again, as if he is intentionally trying to disturb the movie. Suddenly another boy comes in front of him, and the movie thinks that it may be Wheat, so he listens to the boy without seeing it. He shouldn't have done it at all. So that's where the first part of our drama ends today.